Mike Vrabel is panicking after private boat details involving Russini suddenly leaked online. According to reports, the two secretly rented a boat together while Russini was pregnant. And now DNA test rumors resurface trip details, and new allegations are turning the entire situation into a complete circus. Let me catch you up on what's going on. TMZ Sports reported that Mike Vrabel and Russini rented a private boat together for a day on the water in Putnam County, Tennessee, back in June 2021, just the two of them. At the time, Vrabel was the head coach of the Tennessee Titans. According to a source with direct knowledge, Vrabel and Russini were the only people on board for the rental, which lasted 2 to 3 hours. The timing of that outing raised eyebrows because Russini was pregnant at the time with her first child. Documents obtained by TMZ Sports show both signed the company waiver before heading out on a lake, and the source says there was no visible PDA before they departed. According to TMZ Sports, Vrabel and Russini were seemingly wary regarding photographs being shot. Vrabel took one picture with staffers. However, he allegedly requested that no photos be shared publicly. Russini, on the other hand, decided not to take any pictures. Later in the summer, Russini had her first of 2 children, after she married her now husband, Kevin Goldschmidt, in 2020. Vrabel and Russini went on the boat trip in June 2021, and Russini gave birth to Michael in August of 2021. 1 week following the boat trip, Russini published a picture on Instagram of what appeared to be Goldschmidt on a beach in New Jersey, captioning, "Lucky to have great people to spend this holiday with this July," per TMZ Sports. Now, that boat trip happened 5 years ago. It might have stayed buried in the memory of a small Tennessee boat rental company forever. But the reason we know about it now, the reason any of this is public, is because of a cascade of events that started at an Arizona luxury resort in March 2026 and has spiraled into one of the biggest NFL scandals in recent memory. And the man at the center of it, Mike Vrabel, went from calling any suggestion of impropriety laughable to stepping away from his own team to seek counseling. That shift tells a story all on its own. To understand how we got to that boat and why it matters, we need to rewind. Page 6 published photographs on April 7th, 2026, of Russini and Vrabel at the boutique Ambiente Resort in Sedona, Arizona. In the shots, taken on March 28, 2026, the duo lounged poolside and took a hot tub dip. That evening, the pair were photographed holding hands and hugging at sunset on a private rooftop of one of the hotel's bungalows, and an eyewitness told Page 6 they briefly danced. The Ambiente Sedona is an adults-only hotel nestled in Arizona's Red Rocks, a 2-hour drive north from Phoenix, where the NFL held its annual league meetings, March 29th to April 1st. The gatherings at which team owners and head coaches convened to discuss rules and other league business are well covered by many NFL reporters. Both Vrabel and Russini wasted no time pushing back. Vrabel dismissed any insinuation of impropriety, telling Page 6, "These photos show a completely innocent interaction, and any suggestion otherwise is laughable." Russini responded similarly, saying, "The photos don't represent the group of 6 people who were hanging out during the day." A source close to Russini told Page 6 she was at the Ambiente for a hiking trip and stayed at the hotel with 2 female friends. A source associated with Vrabel said he drove to Sedona for the day with a friend, before returning to separate accommodations. Eyewitnesses cited by Page 6, however, said they did not observe any other companions. When the pair were together, the Athletics executive editor, Steven Ginsberg, backed his reporter, telling the Post the photos were misleading and lack essential context, adding that the interactions took place publicly and in view of other people. Everything looked like it could be contained. A few photographs, some dismissive statements, and the news cycle moving on. But that is not what happened. Inside The Athletic, the Post report raised questions, because it included an eyewitness account of Russini and Vrabel at the resort alone, which contradicted her version of events. Executives asked for more evidence from Russini, text messages about an airport pickup, screenshots of planning the trip, or photos from a hike. Russini never provided sufficient evidence. On Friday, April 10th, ESPN reported that The Athletic had launched an investigation into her NFL coverage and the nature of her relationship with Vrabel. Within days, the walls started closing in. In the days before the original story ran, Russini had consulted advisors, including a veteran in crisis communications. Russini and Vrabel also communicated about how to respond to the Post. Internally, Russini argued the photos were a sexist attack on a female reporter in a male-dominated field. She made the argument to her bosses at The Athletic and called them, saying she had been traveling with friends, but the defense couldn't hold. Russini submitted her resignation effective April 14th, citing a desire not to let the episode define her career. In her letter, she said she stood behind her journalism and did not wish to participate in a public inquiry that she felt caused excessive damage. In that resignation letter, she wrote, "I have no interest in submitting to a public inquiry that has already caused far more damage than I am willing to accept." And she added, "I do so not because I accept the narrative that has been constructed around this episode, but because I refuse to lend it further oxygen or to let it define me or my career." Russini was out of a job, but the photos were just getting started. Weeks after photos captured Vrabel and Russini getting close on vacation in Arizona, new images of the duo emerged, and they were snapped 6 years before the scandal surfaced. Vrabel and Russini were captured sitting together inside the Tribeca Tavern around midnight on March 11, 2020, according to new photos published by Page 6. Two of the pics show the pair sitting closely while at the bar, with Vrabel resting his hand on Russini's arm and leg. But a third shot shows the NFL coach leaning in to kiss the sportscaster. At the time, Vrabel had been married to wife Jen Vrabel, with whom he shares 2 sons, for 21 years. He was also working as the head coach of the Tennessee Titans. Meanwhile, Russini was working at ESPN as an NFL reporter, and just 6 months away from her wedding to Shake Shack executive Kevin Goldschmidt. And the 2020 bar photos were not the last piece of evidence to surface. TMZ Sports obtained a pic of the current Patriots head coach and former athletic insider at the Beau Rivage Casino in Biloxi, Mississippi, shortly before midnight on January 31st, 2024. The casino visit might have had to do with the 2024 Senior Bowl, held in Mobile, Alabama, on February 3, about an hour's drive away. A witness said they snapped the pic when they recognized Vrabel and assumed at the time that the woman by his side was his wife, based on their body language. They didn't realize until the recent bombshell news that the lady was actually Russini. The photos were taken 22 days after Vrabel had been let go by the Tennessee Titans. They were both married at the time, so now the public had photographic evidence spanning 3 distinct encounters across 3 different states: a New York City bar kiss in 2020, a Mississippi casino rendezvous in 2024, and a luxury Arizona resort in 2026. The laughable defense was in ruins. And then came that boat trip from 2021, dropping the timeline to 4 documented encounters across 4 states over a span of 6 years. The sheer breadth of the photographic trail, each image emerging from a different source, a different witness, a different year, turned what both parties had tried to present as one isolated encounter into something that looked far more sustained. Each new revelation made the previous denials look worse, and the person feeling the most immediate heat on the professional front was the one who still had a job to protect Mike Vrabel. On Tuesday, April 22nd, Vrabel addressed the situation publicly for the first time. Since his original dismissive statement, he talked to reporters about what he described as a personal and private matter for both him and everybody involved. His tone had shifted drastically. "I've had some difficult conversations with people that I care about, with my family, the organization, the coaches, the players," said Vrabel, who earned his 2nd AP NFL Coach of the Year award last season, while leading the Patriots to a Super Bowl appearance. Gone was the man who called the suggestions laughable. In his place was a coach who seemed to be processing the magnitude of what was unfolding in real time. He specifically said, "I take accountability for my actions, and the actions that caused a distraction to the people that I care most about: my family, football team, the organization, and our fans." And then, on the eve of the 2026 NFL Draft, Vrabel made the announcement that stunned the football world. New England Patriots head coach Mike Vrabel said he would miss Day 3 of the 2026 NFL Draft and planned to seek counseling amid the Dianna Russini scandal. In a statement released to ESPN, he said, "I promised my family, this organization, and this team that I was going to give them the best version of me that I can possibly give them. In order to do so, I have committed to seeking counseling starting this weekend." He added, "This is not an easy thing for me to admit, but it is one that I know will make me a better person." Patriots general manager Elliott Wolf confirmed that the time away was real. "So last night, we kind of talked through things and made the decision that the time away really needs to be time away," Wolf said. "So we were not in contact with Mike today, other than some just hope everything's going okay kind of text early this morning." The Patriots released a statement Thursday afternoon backing Vrabel's choice to spend the 3rd day of the draft away from the team. The New England Patriots fully support Mike Vrabel's decision to prioritize his family first, as well as his own well-being, the statement reads. The NFL, meanwhile, said it was not investigating Vrabel's behavior. NFL spokesman Brian McCarthy confirmed to the Associated Press that the league is not looking into the matter. It's impossible to know whether the situation will result in Vrabel stepping down as coach of the Patriots, or possibly taking a leave of absence for the 2026 season, because it's always possible that more information will come to light. And that brings us back to the boat. The revelation of the June 2021 boat trip in Putnam County, Tennessee, landed like a depth charge because it connected the dots between the 2020 bar encounter and the 2024 casino sighting. It established a continuous thread, and the fact that Russini was pregnant during that boat trip opened an entirely different can of worms. Online speculation has swirled around the paternity of the couple's first son, Michael. Some social media users and commentators have pointed to the child's first name, the same as Vrabel's first name, Michael, and an old social media post by Russini shortly after his birth that referenced notable NFL figures named Michael. The tweet resurfaced in April 2026 after the case intensified, following Page Six's newly released 2020 photos showing Russini and Vrabel kissing at a New York City bar. Her 2021 post on her son, written a year after the alleged 2020 encounter, led social media users to speculate on the timing of the affair and the paternity of her child. Rumors intensified after reports of the alleged long-running nature of Russini and Vrabel's interactions, with unverified calls for DNA testing. Neither Russini nor Goldschmidt has publicly addressed the paternity speculation, which remains unsubstantiated gossip. That distinction matters. As of now, the paternity claims circulating on social media have no credible sourcing behind them. The account that posted the DNA test claim is a parody account. As stated in its bio, no credible sources report that Kevin Goldschmidt has demanded a DNA test for his children. Calls for such tests are baseless online speculation, but the damage from the speculation is real nonetheless. Kevin Goldschmidt, the husband of Russini, has felt sidelined for a long time and is grappling with what insiders describe as deep emasculation. Following the allegations, according to a source close to the couple, the marriage has taken a serious hit in the wake of the scandal. Goldschmidt, a Shake Shack executive, is said to be dealing with public embarrassment while still caring about Russini and hoping to repair their relationship if possible. The source indicated the controversy might be what finally pushes things to a breaking point, though no divorce filing or other specific plans have been publicly disclosed. A prominent sports radio personality, Jared Stillman, shared that a source close to Russini told him that her husband, Kevin Goldschmidt, hired a private investigator and leaked the photos. According to him, it was a revenge move by Kevin against Deanna, with no financial motive. Whether that theory holds any water remains to be seen. It is, as of now, unconfirmed. For his part, Vrabel has been married to wife Jen since 1999, and they share sons Tyler, 25, and Carter, 24. After Russini and Vrabel, who are both married to other people, were photographed together at a luxury resort in Arizona in March. Russini resigned from her position as NFL insider for The Athletic. Vrabel promised to seek counseling and focus on his family. Russini, meanwhile, has gone silent, but maybe not for much longer. She is now reportedly ready to talk. A source close to Russini told the Daily Mail, "Deanna is ready to talk, and everyone from Good Morning America to 60 Minutes is clamoring to get her to do a sit-down. But she doesn't want to do it to bash Mike. She wants to do it so she can potentially reclaim her story and reclaim the potential to get her career back on track." The source suggested Russini has contemplated speaking out for several weeks, adding, "She is making difficult decisions on talking or not, but she is leaning toward talking. She has to get to a better place. She doesn't want to exploit her family anymore negatively. If it is done, it has to be done right." And that is where all of this stands right now. The most important question is whether Vrabel will be able to continue to coach the Patriots. He missed the third day of the 2026 NFL Draft to attend counseling. Every additional piece of evidence that confirms the existence and duration of the relationship could be the thing that forces Vrabel to step aside for the 2026 season, or perhaps longer. Vrabel is entering his second season as New England's head coach. He led the Patriots to a 14-3 record last season, a Super Bowl LX appearance, a loss to the Seattle Seahawks, and both the AP and PFWA Coach of the Year honors. The man built one of the greatest single-season turnarounds in recent NFL history. And now, All of that is overshadowed by photographs, waivers, signed boat rental documents, and the widening gap between what he initially called laughable and the reality the public can see with its own eyes. If this whole saga has taught anything, it's that these situations rarely stay quiet for long. Don't be surprised if a few more details find their way out in the coming weeks. Stories like this have a habit of circling back when people least expect it. The boat trip in Tennessee was supposed to be invisible. 2 people on a lake. No photos, no witnesses. But 5 years later, waiver documents and a single photo from a boat rental employee have added another brick to a wall that neither Mike Vrabel nor Russini seems able to tear down. And with Russini reportedly eyeing a tell-all interview and the NFL offseason stretching out ahead, Vrabel's promise to become the best husband, father, and coach that I possibly can be is about to be tested in ways that have nothing to do with football.